Let's go. Episode 4, ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome to Meanwhile.
We do love a back to tank in Star Wars.
Ouch. Yeah, he straight up got Mustafa'd.
I guess there goes the fan casting of him as Quinlan Voss.
Someone very important to me has been taken. I need your help to get her back.
Not very smart to put a Jedi signal, like symbol in your
Like
safe
they
house.
said, these people aren't thinking.
Why does Disney refuse to use Star Wars music? You know, like
I don't know, man. Like they seem to just forget that they
but,
have
you know,
all this
like,
iconic stuff.
legit, like throw in the Imperial March every now and then.
That would have been
That'd be
perfect.
sick.
Maybe it's a licensing issue.
But it's Disney.
Dude, it's Disney, but they're also cheap.
Identification.
If she somehow gets through, like, I'm just calling rubbish. Like, there's no way that some random officer from
Yeah,
a
some
different
random schmuck.
planet would just be allowed to come over. Yeah, I still find that super sus. Like, because I'm sure like people come by all the time with like classified information. Like that security guard would
And, like,
surely
I'm pretty
be
sure
like,
the
you need to be a
Inquisitor,
pre-book,
the Inquisitorius like supersedes military. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what?
yeah. But like, you know, because this is like the Grand Inquisitor base, you would expect like loads of people would be coming with this classified intel.
I'm overriding an entry port. It should be right.
Is she whispering in
This is like fallen. This is legit like Fallen Order.
Yeah. Be Cooper Fish.
Oh, no, big Cooperfish.
We still gotta die. Wait. So they just have a hole in the bottom of the base that anyone can just swim up to?
Well, in the game at least, it was like a hangar bay.
Yeah.
Something like an exhaust thingy.
Well, that was legit. He just swam through a hole.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, dude. I believe that fan theory that she's doing all of this to get to Vader.
Be kind of cool, to be fair.
It would. Like, she's not Jedi or anything. She's literally just like bent on revenge.
I mean, you would think that like droids would have more than just a visual camera. You know, it would have like infrared,
Sensors,
X-ray, and like all that stuff.
But
So
they'd be able to open doors.
yeah, they would like proximity, even like a proximity sensor or some shit.
Huh? How did they not see him? He's found the secure sector that he's just gonna walk into by pressing a button. Yes, very secure.
I feel like every fan expected this to be like an episode where Obi-Wan was healing, reconnecting with the Force, and we'd get flashbacks.
Yeah.
And instead we kind of like fast forward, and now it's like him already rescuing her.
It feels
This
rushed.
show whoa.
What on
Are these like
earth?
captured Jedi?
Just found out what they're hiding down here.
There's a tomb. So what, they kill Jedi and put them in glass?
Like formaldehyde or something. That's deep. Wait, that dog Jedi, he was at the temple, I swear. Yeah, she's just gonna probe her mind again.
Cool.
That was sick. Yeah, it's nice to see him with a lightsaber.
Friendly fire. Nice.
Yes, that's better. That's better. Wait, is no one like, yo, why did this, why is this guy so fat?
Of course. Really? No one knew this would happen? Snow speeders?
Yeah, doesn't this facility have like radar
No, evidently not. They're just that cocky.
or
they
like
don't have
defense
radar.
mechanisms and
No,
stuff? I
apparently
mean,
not. They've nerfed the Empire. Nah, Wade's gonna die.
Destroy them! Right behind you.
okay, I mean, couldn't she have done that a little earlier with both of them?
Yeah, legit. What is this? I'm telling Vader, bro. You're in so much trouble.
Unless this was all part of her plan.
Yeah.
I put a tracker on the ship. Soon it'll
You see?
and Kenobi.
Ah, the tracker's on Lola.
That was it.
Huh.
Wow. What are your thoughts?
Well, okay. So I think I just didn't expect it. Like, I feel like so many of the fans and me included, and I guess this is us to blame. This is ours to blame. But you know, I was more expecting maybe this episode for him to be like healing in a back tank, and you know, we'd be getting some flashbacks and him reconnecting with the Force and being remotivated to go and find Leia, because we know if Vader gets to Leia, it's done. It would break canon. and it'd be like, you know, it'd be the end of the bloody, you know, universe for them. So it felt a little like crazy to me, at least, that and this is something you brought up very early on in the show, which is the short format of this series forces them to kind of have to accelerate everything, where everything is just moving at such a fast pace, where, you know, we've got, like, it feels like episode 1, 2, 3, 4 happened in like the span of like 2 days, and it feels, you know, rushed. It feels everything's kind of like, okay, so Leia got captured, it's cool, 1 hour later she's fine and Obi-Wan's already got her back. You know, I feel like we need to kind of slow things down a little bit and maybe have like, okay, you know, yeah, I just feel like everything's just too quick.
Yeah, I think the storytelling is suffering for it, because it feels rushed to me. Like, you're exactly right. I was expecting a slow episode of, like, you know, Obi-Wan just kind of healing, reconnecting, processing all of this emotion, processing this PTSD.
It's like, you know,
but they just like kind of like just go, here's 5 seconds of him panicking and like alluding to PTSD, and then he's right as rain.
And suddenly like the back to tank just kind of like heals him within like, you know, obviously to us it was like a minute, but like to him we don't know what the time frame is, but still, I mean, it's interesting because, like, I feel like, you know, we had like a very similar kind of episode / storyline
with Boba Fett.
With Boba, and, you know, yes, we got the flashbacks, and I feel like Book of Boba, unanimously, lots of people aren't that, you know, happy with that show. But
they spent more time in Boba, like showing him healing,
his backstory and his healing, which kind of annoyed people, and it did take a while for him to heal. But
long time.
I feel like with this episode, we just kind of like, oh yeah, you know, Vader burnt him and wrecked him mentally and physically. But you know what? We'll skip that because he needs to save Leia, which I get. You know, Leia is priority, and you know, she is important to the galaxy, but you know, it just kind of like it reduces the stakes of everything again, where it kind of feels like, oh, you know, just brush it off. Obi-Wan's fine now. You know, he's gonna go, and like, oh, the Inquisitorious like facility and stuff in Fallen Order. Yeah, we like, you know, we spent like a long while breaking in. It was like one of the best levels for sure, but
it was too easy.
I get it.
Like,
yeah,
it was actually annoying
like,
how easy it was, and their justification was like, oh yeah, they don't have shields because no one.
It gets old. Like, they use that excuse for everything in Star Wars, like with the Empire. You know, it's like, oh, the Death Star. Oh, we didn't account for people to go for an attack run, so we don't need to prepare. Like, you know, one time you're like, fine, but like, you know, over and over again using the same excuse of like, oh, no one is dumb enough to attack the Inquisitorious.
Yeah.
You're like, and then these two random snow speeders come in without any like warning.
Yeah,
like
just
I remember.
Like, ugh. You know, that felt like ugh when they popped up. Both of us were like, it wasn't even surprise. It was like
it's
how?
I think like in Fallen Order, I'm not sure if Fallen Order takes place before or after the show. We'll need to check on that. But like, you know, they had to use like Sith magic, or like, no, sorry, Dathomir magic to hide the ship from being detected. Whereas here, these random two snow speeders just jump in, and you're like, yeah, we're good. So maybe like this is like maybe what like the safety measures were added after this happened as like a precaution, but still it does make you think like, why not just have a good security system from the get-go? The droids, like, again, you know, the like their cameras are the only thing that can pick stuff up. I don't know, it just felt like this episode felt very easy, you know, it felt too easy for everyone. Like Obi-Wan, you know, going through the facility and saving Leia, and, you know, Reva like,
surviving. Like, if she had died at the end of the episode, that would have been a better episode.
You know, Reva's the
no, not Reva. I'm talking about the Tala. If Tala had been killed at the end of that episode, rather than some random Wade, like that there was no weight to his death. Like, who cares?
Like,
Wade was we met him for 5 seconds. How am I supposed to establish an emotional connection and then you kill a character? Like, I don't care. If you kill Tala, that actually has a bit of weight. I wouldn't care very much, but like I would care more than random Wade in a snowspeeder just dying. But yeah, I feel like the word for me of what that episode was is just, it was a Disney episode. It felt like a Disney episode. It didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt
like, you know how in Mando there's obviously like the really good episodes, and then there's like the episodes that are kind of just there, and you're kind of like, you're kind of like, I mean, it has to happen, but they're kind of like meh. It felt like one of those exactly. It felt like one of those episodes where it's kind of like, I don't know. It just felt like, I think now the fact that it's episode 4 out of 6, it's basically confirming that it's gonna be more than one season, which, you know, I mean, fair enough for Disney. It's obviously like a business. I don't want that cash grab, but like, you know, it does make you think, and I feel like the fandom is slowly. Obviously, we don't speak for the whole fandom, but I feel like now people are slowly kind of agreeing that this show, although like last episode we had some cool moments, and 100% I'll admit to that, it feels a little underwhelming now. Like, you know, it feels like, again, we're like like 40%, 80% through the series now. Not 80%, like 60%, something like that. Yeah, we're 60% through the series now, and I don't know, it just feels like there isn't, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like,
I know exactly how you feel. It doesn't feel, I mean, obviously we had like crazy expectations regardless of like trying to lower them anyway, but even in saying that, this feels very undercooked to me. It feels like they haven't put enough effort into it, like writing.
Yeah, it feels so safe. It feels so very simple, and it feels like, you know, I can't, and like, you know, I feel like Star Wars Theory and like Jeremy Johns and a few of these other reviewers and stuff, they're all kind of saying like that, like, yeah, there's some cool moments, but it also feels like this show had so much potential, so much potential, and it still feels that every time they're just kind of like playing it very safe, or just, you know, playing it like quite boring even. Like, everything's so fast-paced, everything's so like quick and rushed, and, you know, they're not really taking any risks right now, which is a shame. And I feel like, you know, with Mandalorian, for example, which is always going to be my point of reference, just because I think it is the best Disney show right now, the best Star Wars show right now. Like, Mandalorian, again, yes, it was formulaic for sure, but, you know, at least it was new. You know, it felt like we were getting like new things, and we're kind of like, yo, whoa. Like, every episode you were like, okay, well, ooh, who's coming up? Like, who's gonna pop up next? Like, Bo-Katan, holy crap. Ahsoka, holy crap. Whereas this show, you know, it feels like the story isn't strong enough, and it just feels that, I don't know. It's tough. It's tough for me to kind of describe right now, like, how I'm feeling. It just feels disappointing. You know, it feels as if I don't feel the love. You know, I don't feel the love and care that we expect for an Obi-Wan show. Like, why aren't they playing the iconic Star Wars music? You know, I've seen fan edits where people are putting, you know, the Laminations theme or Anakin's Dark Thoughts on like certain moments, and you're like, holy crap, this slaps. Like, even putting the Imperial March, or like now and then like putting in the Force theme. You know, like, we're not seeing that. I feel like visually there's some good shots, but like the dark scene, like where it was all red and Obi-Wan's saber was blue, that looked cool. But again, we're like not getting enough of the volume. Like, I feel like, you know, in Mando, for example, whenever they use the volume or whatever, like the set design, it feels like it feels good, it looks good. Whereas here, there are certain scenes where you can see that like people, it's like, you know, you can't walk too close to the edge of the volume, so there's like always like a gap between, like, it's like, you know, early 2000s green screen almost, whereas Attack of the Clones, where it's like you've got lots of people in the foreground and then there's the background here, and it just feels like, you know, it feels a little fake. And I don't know if it's because like Favreau or the Mando team are better used to the volume technology, or they're just better at making it like look good. But there's so many things about, you know, this show right now that just feels like it's falling short and feels a little, you know, undercooked, like you said.
Yeah, it's I think disappointing. I think you summed it up really well. I just every time we watch an episode, I walk away afterwards, and my opinion actually decreases when I've actually had a bit of time to ingest what I've seen. But I think this time round, like, that was probably the worst episode for me, because it was just so like formulaic. It was so there, you know, like there were no stakes, there was no character development for any character. They killed off a random, who cares? They introduced us to a few new people, but because of the way the show is situated and formulated, there's 2 episodes left, and if they do announce the season 2, I'll probably just stop watching. Because I'll just be like, I'm not buying into this whole Disney, like, oh yeah, we're gonna keep milking this cow till it's dry. I'm here for good Star Wars stories. I'm here for good character development. And like, thus far, this show hasn't particularly given me any of that. Obi-Wan, we've seen a bit of character development, but again, like I said, we haven't been able to like delve into his PTSD. And I think you said it in an earlier review episode, like, Disney don't have the balls to do something like that. They wouldn't make something for a mature audience, which, to be fair, like, is exactly what Kenobi fans are. It's not kids, you know? Like, we're all older. Like, we're probably like one of the younger Kenobi fans, if you know what I mean. You know, like, the Star Wars fan base is a huge, eclectic fan base, but predominantly, if you're like an OG Kenobi fan, you know, and you watched the original trilogy and you watched the prequel trilogy, you're old enough to be watching like much deeper stuff, And I don't know why they didn't go down that route. Instead, they're giving us,
100%.
oh yeah,
They're-
he's just rescuing Leia for 6 episodes, and you're just like,
I
really?
think, like, this is something that a few other people have already said as well, which is they're kind of Disney-fying what could have been, like, a very interesting, like, psychological, like, mental kind of exploration of this character who's so broken. Like, we want to see, like, yes, obviously we want to see Obi-Wan kick ass, we obviously want to see action and stuff, but like, you could save that for like the final battle. We could save that again, and this kind of harkens back to the last episode, where I feel like that reunion, that fight between Obi-Wan and Vader came a little too early and should have been a little later. Like, yes, we're definitely gonna get a rematch, but if we like spent like the first 4 episodes like we have today kind of exploring more of the darkness within the heart of Obi-Wan, like, play around with him, like, I mean, I don't know, like, yeah, we're going to like fan theory and like fan fiction now, but like, yeah, exploring kind of like him, like being broken, and him like even flirting with the dark side, or like with stuff like that. Where right now it just feels so like, it feels like we're kind of brushing past like, yes, we are obviously seeing Obi-Wan broken, like, we're not, it's not like he's perfect now, like, it's not like he's recovered or anything. It's just that, like, it's not enough. Like, I feel like we need to see more, and we need to, like, how like in the beginning of the episode Tala's like, you need time. We just need time. We just need time developing him. Like, give us one episode where he's not moving around and actioning, and just give us an episode where everything's like pausing for now. We're just looking at Obi-Wan and how he is and what he's, and like, his thoughts. Like, that's what I think is missing, is that breathing space in this show. It's because everything is happening so fast. Everything is constantly having to move, which, like, from like, I get that modern audiences and a lot of people expect there to be constant action. It's like the Disney effect again, where like, oh, people like action, people like, things happening, blah, 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 blah. We need to have something happen, but not necessarily. We don't need something to happen every freaking episode. We can afford to have a few episodes where things are chill. Well, not chill, but like, like slow down. And I think that's the main issue. And it's just a shame. And I feel like, like, either the final 2 episodes need to be really long and have like, really good writing and lots of crazy stuff happens, or I feel like this season, as of right now, I'm quite disappointed by the show, and I don't really have as high hopes for the final 2 episodes as much now, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think the Disney effect is real. Yeah, just disappointing, I think is the word for it. Disappointing, safe, lazy, a wasted opportunity.
I feel like, yeah, we didn't really like even have anything to react to that.
Yeah,
episode,
legit.
Like,
we just kind of sat there,
just there,
like, the whole episode. We were like, okay. And I think the problem is like, there's nothing at stake at any given point in this show. Like, even when he's being like when he's being Mustafar'd, you're still like, you'll be fine.
You do survive. True.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, that is the main thing with prequels, obviously.
So like, as hard as he wants to be, like as hard as the show ever wants to get, you're still like, Princess Leia's gonna be fine.
Which is
Kenobi's
why, like,
gonna be fine.
Which is why I always felt that, like, yes, we know Obi-Wan's gonna be fine, but you can still introduce other characters and other like storylines that can make us still feel the weight of, their danger. Because like, now we've got Leia and Obi-Wan, who both we know survive. Whereas, we could still have like, I mean, in my opinion, we could have gotten, like, we should have stayed away from the safe characters that we know are going to be fine, and let's just explore other things. We don't necessarily need to have someone dying and for like, huge battles and like everyone dying, etc., etc. And that's what I mean by like, we could have explored different things, different storylines, you know. And like, again, I don't want to go into like pure fan fiction stuff, so maybe that's something for the comments. Like, do you guys agree? Do you think, you know, this show should have gone or could have gone another way other than involving the big players like Luke, Leia, and, you know, Obi-Wan? And yeah, back to Luke, like, surely you know, like, Obi-Wan's whole duty and his promise to Yoda and everyone was Luke, and now it's just like, yeah, you know what, Luke's gonna be fine, but
Yeah.
I don't know, it just feels very like, I don't know.
Well,
It just feels a
it's
bit
because
iffy for
Bail
me.
Organa showed up, bro. That's exactly the logic. That's literally Disney logic. Disney logic is one character's whole like life mission can be derailed by someone just coming up to him and being like, please. That's literally
here's
like the logic of this show.
Here's a good example of a prequel not having pre-existing characters and us still feeling the weight and stakes. Rogue One, we knew how it was going to end, but we still felt the impact of the characters. We still felt like, holy crap, like Jin, everyone's going to die. Like, we were like, oh, maybe, you know, maybe they're going to like escape and stuff. Like, that felt like, holy, that was a good prequel story, you know? Like, that felt like, boom. Like, even the prequel trilogy, like, yes, we know who survives and who doesn't, but we were still given characters we cared about, like Qui-Gon, Mace Windu, Ahsoka, Rex, blah, 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 blah. So, like, you know, it's doable. You can definitely do a prequel series with weight. But right now, it just feels like, okay, cool. Second sister, third sister, alright, cool. You know, alright.
They're not giving any characters enough time to like for us to care or create any kind of bond. And they're not even like really developing any of the characters. Like the third sister, we're at 4 episodes in, and she's just doing the same thing every episode. Oh, Kenobi, and you're like, all right, this was annoying when you first started doing it. There's 4 episodes doing this, and what's going to happen, I reckon, is they're going to tell us why she's so like, you know, she's so fixated on Kenobi in the final episode. I guarantee you, no matter what the reasoning, it'll be disappointing. It'll be something stupid. Because like thus far, the writing of the show,
I don't mind the theory that she's a good guy. I think that's a pretty cool theory.
That's cool, but I don't think the show will be cool enough to do that. That's a thing, because the writing quality thus far for me has been very lazy. And even if they do make her a good guy at the end, it'll still be lazy writing. Because if the whole show culminates in a Grand Inquisitor,
a plot twist,
yeah, you're just kind of like, really? If I just spent like 6 episodes building up to this, like, really? Because then it also makes Vader just a cameo character. Because he kind of feels like he's just a cameo character right now.
Yeah, it doesn't feel
just
like,
pops
you know,
up.
I mean,
And
the
then
thing
like,
is, like, we were,
and
it's not that we were promised that, you know, Vader, but like, you've got Hayden Christensen back, you know, like, why aren't we seeing more of, like, yes, we saw like a glimpse of Anakin, you know, last episode. That was cool. That was a great moment. And like, yeah, we're getting like some moments of Vader, kind of like that end with Vader like choking her and stuff. That was cool for like a second again, but like, yeah, and then that was like one of our main worries in the in the beginning of the season was like, oh, I don't want, you know, Obi-Wan or Vader to be like side characters. And like, okay, like Vader being a side character, obviously, like, you know, we get like probably would have happened, but still we wanted Vader to be the prime antagonist of the show, or like at least a bigger part to play. And now, like you said, he's like, you know, appearing at the end of every episode being like, all right, peace, that's my cameo, boom.
Yeah, it's like, don't prominently feature that a character and an actor is going to be in a show.
Now, you know, he was a decent part of the marketing. You know, I'd say, like, yeah, they banked on the fact that Vader's in this show.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it's misleading. It's misleading.
And
for them
okay, there's still 2 episodes, obviously, and yes, and Vader is a part of the show, but you know, I guess like we'll just have to see where the show goes, and hope and hope, and hope to hell that the final 2 episodes can be good. But yeah, please guys, let us know in the comments below what you thought of this episode. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree? And look to our TikTok as well. That's our new thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's basically just a highlight reel of our reactions. Unfortunately, I don't think anything today can be
There's
go on
literally
TikTok.
like nothing happened, man.
But yeah, be sure to go to our TikTok. Marcus, you can do the outro.
Yeah, well, thank you for watching. We've been Marcus. He's been Seb. We've been Meanwhile. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification button so you don't miss any of our latest content. Peace out.